I started meditating 10 years ago. Here's everything that meditation taught me. 1. You are not your thoughts. Who you really are is the awareness that is aware of the thoughts, the one observing. 2. You learn to respond instead of reacting to situations. When you meditate, you become more present, you become more aware. And so when situations happen in your daily life, that awareness doesn't leave you, it stays with you, and you become more aware of what happens inside of your body. And then you can kind of focus on the little gap between what happens in the body and your reaction. And from that gap, make a different decision. So it's very empowering. 3. I learned to allow life to be what it is. Life is the greatest gift. What happens is that sometimes we are in resistance to what is happening in life, and we think it should be a different way. But what I have found is that once we allow life to be what it is, or what happens inside of us to be what it is, we can kind of develop this sense of peace that just creates this baseline level of peace that carries throughout all situations and allows us to remain grounded even in the midst of chaos. 4. I discovered that heaven is not a place that you go through, it's a place that you reveal, that you access within yourself first. And when you do that, when you just allow that heaven inside of you to be your dwelling place, it starts to expand outside of you and become heaven on earth, literally. And I felt through meditation how that's possible. And lastly, 5. The root of all suffering is our false identification with the ego, or the separate self, or the false self. When we believe we are this separate entity that is disconnected from everything else, then all sorts of problems can happen to us. But when you remember the truth of unity, which is that everything is one thing, and you become part of that unity, and you kind of dissolve your identification from the ego, the separate self, to the everything else, to the source itself, then you stop believing in all the problems that you thought you had prior, because you realize that all of those problems were not really happening to the real you, they were just happening to the separate self that's not even real to begin with.